Transconductance means input is voltage or current? Tell me that.
Voltage.
Voltage. So you have a voltage source you need to apply. So this is our RS and this is our V in, and then so let me go to the amplifier part. So this is our Ri, and then you have a transconductance. Okay. So you will have this. This is what we have seen today in our class also. Okay. So this is your transconductance. This voltage is what I refer to as V1, Gm into V1 is the current. So current direction I can take this way or the other way. So I will take, for convenience I will take this way. But today in the class I took the other way because our collector current was flowing downwards for NPN transistor. So that's why I took that way. And because of that I got a negative voltage at the output. But if I take it this way, it will be positive voltage. Okay, so now I can put the load. So that is RL. This is the circuit. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see that the input is two resistance in series, and we would need an expression of V1 in terms of V in. Okay, so that you apply, since they are in series, we will apply potential dividing rule. Okay, for applied potential V in will be divided, and V1 is equal to V in into RS. Sorry, potential divider rule says that it should be resistance of whatever voltage you are looking for divided by sum of the two resistance in series. So this you establish. Similarly, if you look at the output circuit, there is a GM. V1 is the current that is coming, and the current that you will get at the output, so that is I out. So that is equal to the GM V1, the total current, that will be multiplied with the resistance of the other branch, that is R0, divided by R0 plus RI. Okay, so this is the two major basic equations. From this we can calculate everything that we want. Okay, so now you want voltage gain, right? Is that you want voltage gain AV with what was the notation I give? I forgot. AVL.
AVL.
Okay. So voltage gain at the load is basically we need to mark the voltage, which is V0 or V out, output voltage divided by input voltage, which is V in. So what is output voltage? Output voltage is basically I out into RL divided by V in. Okay. Now what is I out? I have the expression here already above. Gm V1 into R0 by R0 plus RL, that is my I out, then into RL, I out into RL. So I substituted for I out into RL, so this divided by V. Now V1 expression also I have, so again I substitute, so Gm into Ri by Rs plus, sorry, I have to put Ri here, Ri, V in I will cancel off, okay, V in will cancel off, then Gm into V1 I substituted into R0 by R0 plus RL into RL. Okay, so that's what it is, right? V in get cancelled off after substituting V1. So here is V1, this is my V1. So this V1, when I substituted using this equation, V in came there and V in got cancelled. So what is left is Ri by Rs plus Ri into R0 by R0 plus RL into RL. So that is my voltage gain, and you can check whether the unit is correct or not. So since it is voltage gain, ratio of two voltages, I should not have any unit for this quantity. So you can just do a dimensional analysis just to quickly check whether any dimensional problem is there. Each of this fraction is resistance by resistance, so they will not have any unit. Then Gm into RL, so Gm has a unit of current by voltage, and resistance has a unit voltage by current, so they will get cancelled off, and therefore it is unitless. So that's a quick way of looking at it. So is it any difficult? You tell. If I have a current division rule and a voltage division rule, I get this basic equation. You just substitute it and you get it.
So then what will be the AIL current gain?
Okay, so same thing. You use the AIL. So AIL. So that will be I out by I in. So where is I in? My I in is this. So I out, I already have this expression here. So that will be substituted R0 plus RI. Now what is I in? I in is simply V in divided by the series resistance Rs plus Ri. Again we continue, Gm into V1 is what? We have this, so it is V in into Ri by Rs plus Ri, that is your V1 into R0 by R0 plus RL, and I can multiply with the inverse, so that will be Rs plus Ri divided by V in. So again I will cancel V in. Now Rs plus Ri will also get cancelled. Gather up all the remaining term. So what will be it? Gm into Ri R0 divided by R0 plus RL. That's it. So is it difficult? Again you can do the dimensional analysis. If I take the denominator is resistance, numerator is resistance into resistance, one of the resistance will cancel with the conductance, so dimension is unitless because it is current gain ratio of two currents, it should be dimensionless. So similar way, so if you write the first two things, it's not difficult.
Sir, what should we do to take out a APL, sir?
You apply again apply the formula, the power gain formula you apply. So sorry, what was the formula I gave you? P out by P in, right? What is P out? V out into I out. What is P in? V in into I in. Now you can think of it as AVL into AIL, right? I can combine these two. I can write it as product of voltage gain into current gain. So you actually need to only do this, and then from this you will get it. Now you tell me why you are not able to do this.
So in the experiment that you are given, sir, do we need to verify this formula with the graph, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We have done
Sir.
that.
Then we have to draw the graph for voltage gain, current gain, and power gain for all the four amplifiers.
There is no graph. What graph you are talking about?
I mean, sir, the waveform we have to put it in the graph.
Waveform you need to draw. You take one particular. You first fix the value of RL, RS, all these things, and then you evaluate the expression. You will get value, and then look at the waveform. You can find the same. I mean, you just need to take the ratio of the amplitude of voltage, right? It's very easy from the waveform. You just need to draw one or two cycles, input and output wave voltage. If it is voltage, you draw the output and input waveform. So the peak voltage you look at for input and output. Take the ratio of these two voltage. So whether that ratio will match with your voltage gain ratio. How much time it takes? Plotting will take just a few seconds or maximum a minute. Once you wire up the circuit, it will just show up. You are not doing anything. It's just automatically done. If you are doing in the lab, then of course all of this procedure would take some time. But in simulation, it is very easy. And once you get the waveform, you just need to note down the peak value of the input waveform and the output waveform, and take the ratio, whether that is matching with your AVL for the given resistance values that you have to check, and the GM value. GM also something that you decide how much you put in. So I put 5 when I showed it last time, and if they are matching, it is coming correct. Your simulation is verified because it is as per your equation. And similarly, current gain, same procedure. You plot I out and I in, take the ratio, see whether that is what you are getting according to the expression, the amount what is coming, whether it is matching or not. It should match because they are ideal components that you are making use, so it should match. But if you do practically in the lab, then it's more difficult to match because you need to take the exact value for that transistor say beta value, etc. You won't get any voltage control current source component in the lab. That's only in simulation. They live only in simulation. They are very much idealized things. Okay, that's not available in practical life. Practical life, you need to make them by using transistors. That's what today what we saw. A transistor can be considered as a transconductance amplifier model. I mean, it can be looked at in that way. Okay, so if I connect it with what we saw today, I said here there is not a resistance really. Here it will be a diode, and then this is your base terminal. If I compare with today's class, this is your base terminal, this is your emitter terminal, and this is your collector terminal. I did not put this R0 because I said it's flat. IC was like constant, right? But in real component or real transistor, IC will not be completely flat. You will have slight slope due to the R0. Okay, so transistor will have an R0. So you need to put in the corresponding value there. Okay, so the first part is this operating point, and the second part is basically, so operating point, when I apply 0.7 volt at the input and 25 volt at the output, IC is coming to be 21 milliampere, IB is coming to be 35 microampere. Okay, earlier I gave 5, now I am giving 25, so there is a difference. From 16 it has gone to 21. So this is first part, and then the second part which just now I shown, the input characteristics and the output characteristics. So first is the operating point for a given voltage. If you are putting 0.7 and 25, that is the value that you will get. Okay, so you will get all it listed here. You note down these values. That is part number 1. Okay, so that's the operating point. What are the currents when you apply such and such voltages? Depending upon these voltages that you apply, you will get the values of current. Part number 1. Part number 2 is that you plot the input characteristics and the output characteristics. It's not really input characteristics, it is transfer characteristics. It is wrong to say input characteristics. Input voltage is varied and output current is plotted, so it is basically transfer characteristics. So for that you use DC sweep. Okay, so you remove this and go to DC sweep, and here you first, for input you give V1, and linear sweep start value you give you give start from 0 and go up to 0.8 or 0.75 is also okay, and then increment 0.01, and then the second source V2 you vary from start 0 say to 10, say in steps of 5. So out of this 3 curve will come now, one for 0, another for 5, and another for 10. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to plot the, okay, run it and then plot this. So 3 curve will come. One is not satisfying the forward active condition, so 0 volt applies, means it at least 0.2 volt you need to apply, and then you have 2 more curve, one for 5 volt VCE and the other for 10 volt VCE. So this is the input characteristics. The next thing you have to do is the output characteristics. So it's not input characteristics, what we have plotted is the transfer characteristics. Okay, so now I will change this. This will be V2, and V2 is going to vary from 0 to say 10, 0 to 10, the steps of 0.01, and then V1 is the second source now, to plot the output characteristics. V1 linearly varying, starting from, you can start from say 0.65 to 0.75 in steps of 0.05. So that will give you three curves: 0.65, 0.7 and 0.75. Okay, so run it again. Okay, so that is the curve. If you want to see it more properly, you go to Windows and vertically do it, so that gives you a better view. So this is 0.65, green one, the blue one is 0.7 and the red one is 0.75. so this is number 2. Okay, so next is the third part, is basically you introduce a source. So you go back to the components, you take the voltage, okay, and then introduce it here. And then bring in this. I will have to use this. Okay, so then let's connect it. Okay, so right now I have not put any resistance because I just want to find out beta. Beta is basically the current gain. So I apply a small sine wave. So amplitude maybe 0.05, 0.005, very small amplitude I am applying. So that is like 5 millivolt, and so let me put 1 kilohertz. So this is the input I am putting, and then what else? I have to remove this DC analysis part. I want to do only transient analysis. Transient analysis I want to do for, so 1 kilohertz means if I want to see 5 cycles, 5 millisecond. So the period of the wave is 1 millisecond for 1 kilohertz, and then run it. So look at the base current. So that's the base current. So now draw this waveform, note down the variation of the IB. So you can, what you do is just take the peak value, that is around 42 roughly you take, and then this is around 31. So 42 minus 31, so which is like 11 microampere. That is the delta IB, change in the input current. And then you plot the IC. Maybe you can remove this. Okay, so let's rerun it and plot IC. Okay, so now, so earlier we had a delta IB of 11 milliampere. Right now, if you roughly take, it is like this is 18.5 and this is 25 roughly. So 18.5 to 25, so that is 5 plus 1.5, so 6.5 milliampere. So delta IC is 6.5 milliampere, and delta IB is equal to 11 microampere. You take the ratio, you get the current gain. Okay, so that current gain is basically your beta. So delta IC is 6.5 milliampere, and then that is divided by 11 microampere means 0.011 milliampere. 0.011 milliampere. So 590. Okay, so for that operating point we get current gain beta is 590. So this variations of current, when we take the ratio, the beta that you get is basically for we call it by a slightly different name, AC beta, beta with the suffix AC, so which I did not say in the class, but let me tell you that. Okay, so beta AC is delta IC by delta IB. The beta DC is basically IC by IB. Okay, so this is the difference. So what we just now found out is beta AC, and beta AC depends upon the bias operating point. So it slightly changes depending upon what is the DC voltages and currents in the circuit where you make the fluctuations. So accordingly beta AC at different operating points. So you need to specify what is the operating point where you are operating. So you need to specify what is your IC and also what is your VBE. These two things you have to specify. Okay, so at that particular operating point your and another operating point quantity is your or if you take two voltages, that is also enough. These are the terminal voltage VCE. So even if IC is not there, these two are the other things are controlled by it. So under this operating point you should get the same. So in our case what we did is 25 and 0.7. Okay, so the values which I have said as 590. So 590 we got when VB is 0.7 volt and this is 25 volt. So it is specific to the operating point. Okay, whereas beta DC that also depends upon the operating point IC, but it is just the ratio of the DC current IC by IB. So this is the beta which I derived in the earlier class by considering base transport factor and emitter injection efficiency. But DC beta we calculate by taking fluctuations. Okay, so that is the next thing. Now coming into the final part, which is introducing introducing resistor in the output circuit. So take a resistor, and then I should not have disconnected it. Okay, so I have to stop the simulation. Okay, so I put a resistor. Now I assign some value. So much value, say let's say 1 kilo. Let me see what happens. 1 kilo, run it. So the fluctuation of input voltage we already know, we have given 5 millivolt, or peak to peak if I take it is 1 millivolt. So 5 millivolt upward and 5 millivolt downward. Okay, from 700 to 705 and then back to 695. So the peak to peak, if I take as delta V, that is 10 millivolt. So I'll close this now. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the output voltage. So this is where I will take the output. Yeah, now it is coming fine with 1K. So this variation, so this variation is going from say around 5.5 to 9.5. So 9.5 minus 5.5, that is like 4 volts. So my delta V out is 4 volt, whereas my delta VBE is only 1 millivolt. So now let's calculate the voltage gain. Okay, so 4 is the output fluctuation. So this is the AC voltage gain divided by 1 millivolt. 1 millivolt means divided by 10 millivolt, right? 0.01 volt is 10 millivolt. So we are getting a voltage amplification of 400. So that is good. Okay, so this is your experiment for today. If there is any doubt, you can ask. So first is the operating point, second is the characteristics, the transfer characteristics, which is basically IC versus VBE. Third is basically the output characteristics, IC versus VCE, keeping VBE at different values. Okay, so you should get at least 3-4 characteristics, and I told you how to do that by varying the sweep voltage 1 and voltage 2, and reverse it, you will get the other characteristics. Next is current gain, that is you plot the IB, note down the variation of IB peak to peak, and then plot the IC, not the variation peak to peak, take the ratio. So that will give you beta AC beta, or AC current gain. And the final thing is you put a resistor 1 kilo I have put, and accordingly you have to choose a smaller sine wave so that the voltage variation will be within the limits and without violating the condition for forward active region. And then note down the input voltage variation, that is basically the whatever you specify. Here I have specified 10 millivolt, and the output you have to plot it like this and see the peak to peak variation, that is your delta V out, and delta V out by delta V in, so we got it around 400. Okay, so calculate this with your expressions and verify this. This is what we should get.